You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the South Asia Elite Community Series here for Rainbow Six Siege X at Frag Nation in partnership with Ubisoft. I'm your host, Blackjack. Join me once again is my co-host, Bullet and Madness, as we are back once again for another weekend and another best of three. This Sunday evening, we've got a fantastic game for all of you, if I do say so myself. It is Hasib Warriors versus Team RUE in the upper bracket round 2 matches. Madness. Well, since you're the analyst for this segment, I'm going to pass it off to you first. What do you think? What are we looking forward to tonight?
We are looking forward to. Oh, sorry. Yes, continue.
As like I say, as I'm on the list just for the first part. Talk about the side of Hasib Warriors. It's nothing but all praises, right? They are one of the top contenders if we talk about the 2023 competitive season of South Asia's Rainbow Six Siege. In our region, they are one of the top contenders when it comes down to the entire region, honestly speaking. But also talking about the side of RUE, how we have seen their performance coming in down for the quarter finale. Even if you talk about the qualifier 1, even if you talk about the side of qualifier 2, they have shown some really good gameplay. Most of the matches that they have played in the qualifier 2, when it comes down to the round number 1 games as well, qualifier 1 as well, in the qualifier 2 especially you're talking about, they have won the majority of the series with a 2-0 scoreline. Apart from, yes, some of these matches being very close, like once they went up against this team Illusion, and they on the second map of Lair, they won up with a scoreline of 8-7. That went on to up till round number 15. But as we all know, folks, the South Asia Elite 23's prize pool, it's going to be an entire prize pool of 3 lakh Indian rupees, one of the biggest prize pool that we have seen in our region. The first place team will take home 1 lakh Indian rupees, second place will take home 16,000, and thus the entire prize pool are as follows. But also, again, coming on to the topic of Hasib Warriors, as we are going to take a look at the map veto momentarily, we have to give them the credit of being one of the most consistent team, Madness and Blackjack, in our entire region. Madness.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be very consistent. Came up top in qualifier 1 as well. See, Warriors are doing something. And we were talking about later, you'll see what the map picks are. But there is a specialty pick of Hasib Warriors there. But before we can talk further about how this tournament is progressing, we will talk about how we reached here. The tournament format, qualifiers 1 and qualifiers 2 were conducted respectively between 7th and 14th September and 28th September to 5th October. 4 teams from each side of these qualifiers came out, so 8 teams in total. Out of them, the top 4 qualified teams, as you say, from both sides move on. And now we're hitting the part where we're in the playoffs. Started on 6th October. We did record and see a lot of matches this past, couple of days as well. And on Sunday today, we will be seeing a bit of upper bracket action. But the most important part alongside that money is that the top 2 teams qualify for the APAC Cup Asia qualifier over here, Blackjack.
Oh, yes. Those top 2 spots, I'll tell you what, they are going to be the biggest thing that these teams have in their minds. It's pretty much dangling in front of them. Well, a fantastic carrot, a golden carrot if you have a different game in mind. But with that said, this is now, as we see in the brackets, this is now where we are. October 12th, it's going to start in just a moment here, folks. Hasib Warriors versus Team RUE, and that is certainly a game that I think we've been looking forward to for a hot minute, right? Hasib Warriors, I think, are one of the favorites of the tournament just overall, given just how many members in that team are some of the fan favorites of the region, right? At least I would certainly say so. So with that said, since the brackets have pretty much been taken care of, and of course tomorrow an off-stream game, which is Blitzkrieg versus Team Uwu. So keep an eye out for that, of course, in the brackets. That will be updated soon. But with that said, folks, it's time. Tonight, or today, it's not exactly night 10 just yet, but today, it's Hasib Warriors taking on Team RUE in this upper bracket semi-final. I'll tell you what, I am very, very excited for it. But since we're getting into it right now, or we will be in just a moment, we're going to see the map bans. And as soon as we do, we're going to pass it over. I'll pass it over to Bullet right there, because I'm pretty sure he has a few things to say about the maps that have been selected between these 2 teams. Actually, you know what? Since we are talking about it already, Bullet, walk us through the maps we've got.
Yes, of course, the creators will be coming on screen for all of you joining in. But for those of you who don't know, I gotta say one thing more about the side of Sea Warriors. As far as I'm able to recall, but there we go. We have the map beat on our screens already. The bank has been banned up from the side of RUE. Of course, we have, and it is a very clear case that bank is one of the strongest map coming in from the side of Hasib Warriors. It is going to be the second strong map, which is going to be get picked in the second map, which is of course the side of Border. Border has been played numerous times from the side of a Seabirds in the other competitive stages in our region, in the competitive tournaments in our region, and they have won maximum number of rounds in their entire games at Border. Also talking about the fact that Clubhouse is going to be the first one. Yes, I might give the credit to the side of RUE, them being smart enough to play on the map of Clubhouse. They have played a lot of matches, I guess, in the qualifier one, if I'm able to recall it right. In a couple of games that they have won on the map of Clubhouse, but also talking about the side of qualifier two, I guess they didn't played any Clubhouse in their last qualifier. Yes, they did play against the side of QC Sports on October 3rd, which was on, I guess, an on-stream game for the side of qualifier two. They won up with a 7-3 scoreline. So yes, couple of games that they have, played up against the side of QZ Sports, and I guess so with some other teams as well. But Clubhouse can be a very, a 50-50 map, to be frankly speaking, Blackjack and Madness. It can either go toward the side of Sea Borders. It is a very balanced map, in my opinion. Apart from some of the sides on the second floor, apart from that, I see this as a very balanced map in the competitive stage of Rainbow Six Siege X. But on the side of Border, my opinion is going to be very partial onto the side of Sea Borders. It is one of the strongest map on the side of the Sea Borders. But for now, folks, I'll take a leave. Over to you guys.
Yeah. That being said, thank you, Willett, for that analysis at that part. Oh, we're talking a lot about the map picks, not just map 1, map 2 as well. Border, yeah, like you was talking about, is a bit of specialty of Sea Warriors. But heading into map 1, this is going to be the upper bracket semi-final one between RUE and Hasib Warriors. This is going to be a pretty good map, and this is RUE's map pick for the people who just about missed it. It's Clubhouse getting picked up for them. We will just about be heading in to seeing the bans, and the bans decide a lot. The operator bans decide a lot of what is going to be being played, how the sites are going to be, attacked from either side or even defended as well, because we have seen a couple of picks coming here there depending on who is playing in which team, and we have seen the preferences for a lot of shield bans over here, Blackjack.
That we have in the past. Shields certainly have a lot to say when it comes to Clubhouse, right? Especially when you look at the garage ramp that we've seen Monty pretty much turn into his dominion when played correctly. Of course, there's always the caveat. When you're playing a shield, you got to be careful to actually do what you need to do and play to your strengths. It's not very easy, even though it sounds like it should be a walk in the park. Shields don't automatically mean you're going to have the best time of your life. But hey, with these teams in play, I certainly do hope that they are giving us a match where they are giving it their all, because yes, it's upper bracket. Yes, the losing team still has a second chance, technically speaking, but hey, if they take it easy, that just means it's a worst to see and worst to cast match for us. And I don't think we want that, right? We want a game with both of these teams giving it their all. And that's exactly what we're here for tonight. It's Hasib Warriors. They have historically given us a fantastic set of rounds and matches, and they're never once to disappoint, if you ask me. So I'm certainly expecting a lot out of them. At the same time, Team RUE, well, they're up here, and they are certainly one of the, as I mentioned, I think yesterday, dark horses of this tournament, right? A team that rose up, and the team that is now looking to challenge the old guard of Rainbow Six. I mean, these players are also veterans over at Team RUE, don't get me wrong, but they certainly have themselves quite the ask given the matchup today.
It is quite yes. We were even talking about it during qualifier 2 when RUE were going at it over there, getting a lot of dominance in a lot of their map pools that we were still looking for. So we were making comparisons that these might be the people to challenge the Seaboys, and today we get to see it actually happen over here in the upper bracket semifinal one. Finally, we're going to be heading into the operator banning stage. It was a bit of a long animation to see how Clubhouse is. It's a beautiful map, don't mind me, and it's a pretty nice place to look at, and it's a very interesting way to be about how creative of how you ban and how you're going to actually enter. So the Kite and Maverick comes out, so no more Maverick tricking allowed for the side of RUE, at least in map number 1 over here. Let's see the following ban. I'm assuming maybe an Azami ban, even a Bandit coming out, and maybe some hard reachers per se over here, Blackjack.
I mean, that should be the case. And there you go. Hibana's going to be banned there. So 2 breachers, one known for silent breaching and the other known for her hatch supremacy, which I think can only mean one thing. We're going to start off on Basement Church and Austin Room, and that is exactly what Hasib Warriors is bringing out to start us off. So Team RUE should have read into that. Of course, their defensive bans were Kaid and Azami. No surprises right there with those two. Kaid, I mean, you don't want to have electrified hatches. You don't want to deal with those electropause that can be hidden away in some very hard to read spots. And at the same time, we've seen just how useful Azami is, right? Garage, once again, so many of those poke holes that are made with the Kiba barriers in there. We've got Arsenal with boxes and especially the rack side, right? Deep Arsenal. You really can just hold it down with Zami. Like, just turn that into your own little room, pretty much, right? And that, of course, is something that RUE doesn't want to have to deal with. So that's why that ban has been set into place. However, I have questions for the Hasib Warriors team right now. Hasib himself, of course, getting the Scopos. That's a pick we don't see too often, but a pick that's always really, really nice to see. But my question is, Zedux with the Cav, what is the... Oh, dear me, Taha, wait a minute. Already going for a big spawn peak right now. Manages to find Cryptic. That's your breacher gone. Thankfully, Team RUE did get the backup of 2 secondary heartbeat charges on both Grim, Venom, and Electric Striker, respectively. But that ace, oh boy, Cryptic really getting taken to town to start things off.
Yeah, coming up big earlier on, getting the main breacher out of the way, but gives up his life as well, gets straight up. But yeah, you were talking about Xenox on the Caveira over here, on the Cav. So we had double basically roamers in the sense of 3-speed operators coming in for Z Warriors, but he's just chilling near pool table as of yet, not making a move. You even have Scopus, like we're talking about, very good, change of breath of fresh air over here coming in, as well as Baz on the Valkyries. You have to watch out for those cams as well. Earlier on, you don't have an IQ to spot it out, but a hole has been made into dirt, and 3 members of RUE are marching up over here. But Baz wants out Romar, gets the kill, but instantly traded out by Electric. More of gunfights going on. The Scopus is waiting, trying to get a pick, but instead chooses to back away. Not much HP lost from the side of Hasib Warriors, but Electric and Venom are looking worse for wear, definitely at this point. And looks like maybe RUE are going to have to rethink this strategy heading on further into round number 1.
They just might. Here's the finger boost coming in, giving them a little bit of heals right now. Shots fired, and that's Zedux with the SMG on the Cav as well. Such a combination that you do not get to see too often, but that's going to be one more down. Your Finka gone, so whatever heals you got, well, that's all you're going to get. Impact nades go out, not connecting just yet. More bullets are fired, but they heard, I think, the other player who's in first floor. You saw the Caveira making the rotate. There you go. Hasib and Zedux strike at the same time. The calls were given. The sounds were heard, and folks, that is going to be a very comprehensive round 1 from Hasib Warriors.
And it's so nice to see spawn peaks coming back into the mix. I was, missing them quite a bit, especially yesterday's matchup. But Taha does not let me stay disappointed for too long. Earlier on in round number 1, gets that early pick onto Cryptic, takes away the ace from the hands of RUE, balances out numbers, makes it a 4-4, and the Xenox who comes in for the cleanup. Xenox, like you're saying, not a usual combo of the SMG. He's going back for it yet. Again, it's going to be Taha making the switch to Vamai, so they're going to let Xenox be the main kind of, roamer trying to create the nuisance in the side of RUE. In the way he's already been playing, it seems that they have made a very smart choice. We will see that switch up coming in. We're not going to see the ace coming out. We will see the thermite instead for the side of RUE as we head into gym and bedroom for the second round for here for Hasib Warriors. Off to a very good start in map number 1 of this upper bracket semifinal 1.
Oh yeah, talk about a good start. That certainly was. But Xenox once again back on the Cav. This time looking for a potential spawn peak, maybe. Me think someone's getting a little excitable right now. Did anyone spawn that part of the map? Doesn't look like it. No, at least based on outlines, I can't tell. But never mind, there's another one beat out of the blue stairs window. That's one more down. This time it's Electric the Finka to go down first, so no more heals, no more frag grenades. the attackers have once again lost a massive piece of utility right there. And Hasib Warriors, they are confident today. Taha gets taken down on the other side, though Mai getting a little too excitable, I think. Yep, there we go. You see where Cryptic Fate was aiming that door of garage. So Wamai probably tried to get a peek going, but never mind. There's somebody else here. It's Fathar who fires back, and Cryptic Fate has also been DBNO'd. He might just get cleaned up on in just a second here as Fathar, or actually Zedux will come in, and that is now two. Wait a minute, Cavs running out. Was that an interrogation? It might have been. Oh dear me, Zedux with the other one, the second kill, and now it's all falling apart. Romar manages to find one, but that's the only one that'll happen. Oh dear me, folks. C4 tossed with the jump out. They're not even trying to play sight. CCTV, more like exterior on the other side of the map. The drop is heard. Hasib comes out swinging with the final kill. Hasib Warriors. Boy, their confidence is sky high today.
Yeah, not letting RUE near the goddamn building at this point. Hasib Warriors have been just showing so much aggression. We started the round with seeing that maybe that Zedux is going for the, that early kill, but instead it's going to be Baz that gets the early pick out with that Legion, gets the gun down off with the SMG, gets the early pick out, and then, Fathar comes in as well. Bandit also coming in clutch as well. So just everybody all out just showing aggression from the side of Hasib Warriors. There is no fear in the minds of the defenders whatsoever. They're looking to complete the rotation over here, taking up CCTV as their third site over here. They've done 2 rounds in a row. They're looking to make it 3. The Thunderbird shall make an appearance in the hands of Baz, but there's also that clash in the hands of Taha over here, Blackjack.
Yeah, they are out to play. Hasib Warriors are. Zedux on the Cav, Taha on the Clash. Oh boy. RUE, you are in for a world of hurt if you don't start adapting to this hyper aggression that Hasib Warriors have come out the gate with, because they have certainly come out the gate swinging. The side of choice, of course, this time. Actually, a minor correction. Side of choice in the last round was not second for CCTV. It's probably Jim. This time it is CCTV. They didn't even do the main breach? Nope. Okay, they just have it wide open and they're peeking right out of that? Okay, they are definitely playing some sort of game here, and it's not just Rainbow Six that they're playing. They are playing with the feelings of Team RUE right now. Shots fired, but it's not going to take down Hasib once. C4 is out. The mute will survive. He's going to go back to the Thunderbird, and he's going to get healed up as well. And oh dear me, look at this. You've got the Clash effectively acting as a mirror, and they don't have grenade to take it out. Oh my goodness. This is both a really smart, really bold, and really aggressive play from the Hasib Warriors all at the same time.
Fathar gets the kill onto Venom. The aggression is paying out. He's catching someone on the outside, but Cryptic adds onto Fathar. The instant trades coming out, but Tony Places is taking quite a beating as well. It's 4 versus 4, and Cryptic is looking about entering through garage instead. Zedux still with these holes in the wall, looking for prey, hunting anyone down, but nobody is there. But on the catwalk is Baz. He's waiting. The drones come in. Drones will spot him out. The drone should also be a neutralizer. Maybe another drone being activated out there by Tony's Place before he makes his way in, and Zedux is come here for the backup. I don't think they know Zedux is close by, but in the meantime, Cryptic Fake gets a double kill, this time by getting the kill onto Hasib himself. A headshot. There's a lot of damage in terms of HP to the side of RUE, but they get another Tony Plays this time. Going to get it onto Baz, who was there on the Raptor. Unfortunately, as we're going down, Taha from behind gets shot by Electric. Zedux left alone in a 1 versus 3 because Tony Plays has been picked up. Zedux has 2 angles to look at. Unfortunately, gambled on the wrong one. Being the team that picks up Tony Plays outside, comes back in, catches the Zedux off guard, the Cav off guard, and RUE finally making Hasib Warriors pay for what seems like a bit of overconfidence. Like you said, there was not grenades to deal with the shield, but everything was pretty much opened up, and that's where you have too many angles to look at.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason why in CCTV you do everything you can to keep that main wall shut down, to keep it solid. You don't want it breached because guess what? Defending the site becomes 10 times harder. Even though we're all used to it, that yeah, it's going to get breached anyway, but it still gives you that level of comfort that knowing, hey, attackers are here, the breach is happening, everyone can adjust. When you already have it pre-broken, you could say the same rules apply, but not really, because now attackers aren't wasting utility on that. They have time to pivot. They have time to understand what it is that you're bringing out for yourself. And that's exactly what RUE did. And to their credit, Hasib Warriors were being punished for their overconfidence. So good on them, all things considered. And Hasib Warriors, you gotta slow down a little bit. You know, the last round was certainly a round, one of the rounds of all time. But you know, let's not have too many more of those, right? You're confident, we get it. Team RUE certainly needs a lot, will probably gain a lot of experience from even this. However, we want to see something more of what we've seen before from Hasib Warriors. With that said, final bans have already happened. It's Valkyrie and Grim. No surprises right there on either side with those bans. And we're going to be going right into Basement Church and Arsenal Room for round number 4. Zedex is sticking with the calf pick, so it looks like that is a legitimate... Well, I say legitimate. That could just be like them thinking, hey, it's an upper bracket semifinal. Doesn't matter if we lose. Let's try some, new things, or let's try some operators that we don't normally play. Val's playing the Ella, for instance. You don't see Ella on this particular side that much. Sometimes, maybe. But Vigil, like Taha's playing, or other operators like Mute, like Jaeger, like Omai, like Mira, they all get played here. And actually, Mira's available. We haven't seen her yet from Hasib Warriors, so they're probably doing, they're probably taking at least a couple of rounds here to experiment a little bit, which I can commend. Experimentation is what's gotten Siege's meta to where it is today. So, in the spirit of the competition, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
I just think Mir doesn't fit in with the high active playstyle and hyper aggression that Hasib Warriors is bringing out, at least in map number 1 over here. So I think that's pretty much the reason they aren't going for it. But Taha and Zedex, these are the two roamers that the side of RUE definitely need to clear out. Look at the patience Tony Place is showing over there. Again, another dirt tunnel entry from the side of RUE. They did this last time when they had come to the basement, and now at least this time the ace is alive to try to open up. Oh, a bit of a miss throw on the Selma charge. He has to walk a bit back through it yet again. Now finally should be opening up. A nade was thrown, I think, to stop it. Not sure if it did ended up going for exactly that kind of rim, but you can see exactly what Zito was in. Now we are following Tahar near Jim. Cryptic Fate has made his entries near logistics right now. Can go into the hall with a bit of a cat and mouse between them. A couple of shots between the floorboard exchange between both teams. Nobody actually taking any sort of damage, but the hatch is very surely opened up right now. They're even making another hole towards the backside between the floorboards. Venom gets shot down quite a bit by Hasib. Hasib goes for another peek, but this time, unfortunately for him, he's gonna fall down. Venom's gonna clear that up. Takes a bit of damage on the way out. Venom's not looking quite healthy, and this is the moment where Zedex and Taha are going to you see Taha coming down the stairs. Unfortunately for Cryptic, the guy who's been following the entire round gets the better of him. Unfortunately for the Vigil, he's not going to get any kills this round. The last 30 seconds, 3 defenders left. Zedex strikes hard and fast there onto Cryptic Fate, looking for the guy coming down the stairs as well. There's a man in the hallway. From now he sees the shoulder, sees the play, the fires there, but it's an SMG silence through the wall. You don't do that much damage unless you hit the head, but still he gets the kill onto Tony Plays, going for more, but Romar says no. But in the meantime, Baz gets the kill onto Electric. Now the drop has to come down. It's a 2 versus 1. You're going to be falling to your death, and that's exactly what happened. Fatar on the Thunderbird for the cleanup, shooting clay pigeons out of the air as they fall down in the hatch, and yet again another successful basement defense from the side of Hasib Warriors.
You know what, Zedex? I doubted you, but I wasn't familiar with the game. I'm sorry. That calf play on the first floor certainly was a round-changing play right there, and I'll have to give credit where credit is due. That's pretty much what Cav was good at, right? Those sneaky plays that you don't expect on the road, which is funny because Taha on the Vigil was trying to do something similar by going down main stairs. It just didn't really work out that way, right? So, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You just say it is what it is and move on. And that is exactly what Team RUE will have to do. 1 and 3 down. Of course, it's not the worst thing in the world, but looks like Hasib Warriors are slowly starting to take this a little bit more seriously. Given that in the previous round, I will say there was a couple of moments where RUE looked like they might win the round, right? They had the body advantage for a really long time. They pushed it to a 5-3, and then it was Zedux's play that really could have gone either way, right? Say Cryptic comes down the main stairs earlier, finds Taha, and continues pushing down it alongside the Nomad down the hallway, kitchen hallway, right? That pinch could have actually taken down Zedux quickly. Maybe. Or maybe Zedux gets a double kill earlier. It really isn't set in stone, and that's the beauty of Rainbow Six. So many different things can happen so very quickly. I think Zedux is once again trying to go for a run out. I'm pretty sure I saw... Yeah, there he is. You see that little red triangle flashing above his name. He's really trying to go for a run out still. Zedux certainly feeling confident tonight. As right now we have ourselves the early bits here for round 5. It's gym bedroom, of course, as that means the breach will be on CC. Actually, it's going to be denied. No, it actually hasn't happened yet. So they're going to try it. Oh, dear me, Zedux trying to find the Osa is going to be found instead. That's your calf down to start the round.
Exactly. Just not just this. What Tony Blaze did earlier puts the Osa shield in the window, breaks it, so it's hard to shoot through the window if you're a defender. So you're opened up the entire walkway over there, so that's going to be good for you. But it's actually been taken down from what it looks like from the rooftop. Cryptic Fate is trying to fight back. So the Osa shield that was placed there has been completely removed. But look at the small amount of punch hole in garage. He's looking for a pick, but doesn't seem to find it. Finally, the entire breach has been opened up by the Thermite, by Romar. And now, even now, Tony Places sees the punch hole, finally shoots a couple of bullets. A lot of Graze action happens to the Thorn, but she's gone to the reposition. In the meantime, Benok is onto Fatar. Hasib trying to go up the stairs, gets damaged by the Cryptic is kill onto Baz. This is Hasib Warriors a bit too spread out. They didn't get their initial frags. They are down to low HP. They are down to one man. They are down to none. And a flawless round coming out from the side of RUE.
Ooh. Flawless from RUE. Oh dear me. That's certainly going to put a bit of a dent in Hasib Warriors' experimental phase right now. Because they'll be thinking, all right, folks, we have had a bit of a moment here. That wasn't exactly what they were looking for. I think we can all agree on that. As losing rounds on Clubhouse defense, never quite what you want to do. And that's exactly what ended up happening to them. So, what does that mean for the rest of this matchup? Well, Hasib Warriors are right now 3-2 up. They still have advantage. They still want to make it 4-2. But I will say, perhaps toning down the aggression would certainly help. Because again, Zedux, I understand, he's meant to play on that, aggressive roam. He's a Cav, right? Cav mains and Cav players are pretty much obligated, contractuated to go and find kills and hunt people down, even at the cost of their own lives. However, when CCTV is being pushed and you really don't have any other place to go, I think staying in garage is one of the worst things you can do. Not worst per se, but one of the less ideal things you can do, because you're going to get pushed out of there. You're going to be aggressed upon. And if you want to stay alive, maybe holding red would be better, or maybe holding in cash would be better. Again, I'm just saying based on what I've seen from this team, right? We've been seeing Hasib Warriors and these players for a really, really long time. Oh dear me, here comes the pings, and they are really hunting down whoever is in garage right now. It looks like it's Zedux, and Zedux is going to make a quick getaway down Oil Pit silently at that, thankfully staying alive for the rest of the round.
And a bit of Thermite being used to open up this wall instead of the main gate. They have another Thermite charge which they're probably going to use there. So they want two sides of entry, one from a bit far off. Zedux, was spotted out by the drone early on. There was a lot of pre-fires on the wall against him. And fortunately for him, didn't seem to catch too many bullets, or even if he caught anything at all. Makes his getaway. Now again, we reposition. But that's what we're talking about. Zedux, but the cap does have to go for the run, but he's going for a lot of that runouts earlier. He gave away his position in the previous round. That's why he got hunted down pretty early on into the round. So he didn't even buy time much for his team. So maybe this time a bit of change, but the repel over there from the side of Cryptic Fate seems to be getting the better of Hasib. He was looking for the headshot on the DMR, but unfortunately couldn't connect. Cryptic also wary about maybe a potential runner, but Tony plays between the chair, gets the headshot onto Taha. Tony plays on this Osa, seems to be coming quite a bit alive. Even has this Osa shield around which to play with, but unfortunately for Taha, not suspecting that this kind of play can be happening. On top of Logi Roof is Venom sitting right now trying to make an approach. You can see the Aster is being used by Electric. A couple of rotations coming in for Hasib Warriors as they narrow on the clock. 1 minute 20 seconds left to play with.
Time is of the essence right here for RUE, and they are certainly making good time at that, folks. As we have ourselves a minute 10 on the clock. Here's the entry from the breach. Shots fired, but Electric still gets the kill. Baz unable to emphasize on the fact that somebody, the attacker, Electric, was stunned in that moment. So that's going to be a big loss right there. And another one. Tony Blaze expecting somebody playing on the hatch, but there's going to be one down, but it's only one left. It's a one player remaining. Fathar, the last one. He's going to be seen despite the double kill. And the clutch will be stopped in its tracks before it can go anywhere of note. Folks, we have ourselves a game and a half because right now we are 3-3 equalized in map number 1 already. As Team RUE, they certainly seem to have woken up.
They have certainly seemed to wake up, and Hasib Warriors seem to be lacking in a couple of departments, it seems, in that last round specifically. But that was the half. We're heading into the second part. We see the shield bans coming out in the form of the Blitz this time. RUE does not want to play against that, and Hasib Warriors don't want to deal with the Valkyrie. And they don't have to bring an IQ to honestly, take up a slot in the operation to just find this out. But the Guide seems to be the mutually decided ban between both teams, because it was banned even in the last round. But the Grim also will be hitting the deck. We know how annoying the Grim is and how much it's to deal with. And we talked about how the Mira wasn't banned in the last last half, but it took Hasib Warriors till the 6th round to actually activate it, while at the side of RUE are instantly going to jump the gun, bring that in, because they know that they have to defend with their life to try and win out on their own map pick right here.
That they do. You got that one right, Madness. As I do like the bans though, Grim and Blitz. It is interesting that they chose to ban Blitz. I think that's just seeing the fact that Hasib Warriors were not unafraid, right, to have the Mira in there. I think they saw that and they were like, okay, let's just not give them the chance to play the most annoying shield, right? And you know what? I respect it. If you don't want to have to deal with something, ban it. That's what I always say. And that's exactly what the kind of philosophy they're going to be playing into right here. So with that said, folks, we're moving right in to the next round. Round number 7. And it's going to be, once again, one of those rounds where we look forward to what both teams have in store for us as we move into the action phase. Already, we've got ourselves a little breach going towards CCTV. It looks like nobody reinforced this part of the wall because they have the interior wall that separates cache reinforced thoroughly. So that's going to be where the defense is for RUE right now. And we have the slides breaking open the blue window just to see if we can find someone or maybe force an entryway from this part of the map. Here we have the secondary hard breaches from Hasib bringing in the Striker. And that's what I like about the fact that Striker is now playable, or Recruit. They reworked them into Striker and Sentry. It's essentially the same as Recruit always used to be, just now they have a loadout that's more ranked approved and competitive approved, if you want to call it that. Here we have shots fired, and Electric's going to be the first one to go down. Baz with the first kill, beautifully done. The cap can goes off, and that's going to be the first pick of the round here.
Oh no, the foot is visible. Xenox very smartly with the pro gets the kill onto Tony Blaze, looking through this hole in the wall to find more, but Fathar anyway gets the kill onto Cryptic Fate. There's an F-net that he has to walk through, but I don't think he's going to irritate him too much. Only 2 players left from the side of RUE. Let's see how much they can do. It's going to be Venom and Romar to try and close it out for RUE, but Hasib Warriors are breathing down their necks, and that's exactly what it does with Xenox. With a nice headshot onto Venom, leaving Romar alive to deal with the upside down repel. well on the window, but he's getting closed in from every single possible action. There's too many people for him to deal with, and that will be a flawless round for Hasib Warriors to start off their attack.
A flawless round to start things off here. My goodness, Hasib Warriors, they are looking good today. That's exactly what they'll be saying to themselves too. The guys, that was a good performance. Let's keep it up. Have ourselves a game to win and an upper bracket finals to reach. As we move now into the 4-3 round situation, round number 9, or round number 8 in play. Excuse me. Math isn't my strong suit, folks. I mess up every now and again. But, point notwithstanding, round number 8, we are going straight down to the basement. This I like from Team RUE. They're a team that has shown that they know when to change it up if something isn't working, right? Last round, Hasib Warriors took a flawless. And RUE knows that they can't afford to give them another flawless by going to gym or even CCTV, because that was an entire second floor clear that Hasib Warriors demonstrated with a level of ferocity from a team that is maybe less comfortable on this. So the smart decision here from RUE was to switch it up, go to a completely different site, and then see what that nets you. We're going to have to find out as we now have the beginnings of round 8. Now, I will say, Madness, I like this trend here of picking an op that doesn't normally get played or hasn't been played in a hot minute, because Cryptic has brought out the Pulse, which makes more sense on this part of the map, right? But still, you don't see Pulse that often these days, so I'm really liking what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, like you're talking about, we did see a couple of pulses, but yeah, like he's not on the room 30. The heartbeat pulser, he does find exactly where Cedex is going, and we're talking about the man, and he already strikes with the C4 to gain the first skill, the first blood of round number 8. He's seen another person on the heartbeat scanner on the way of that person making his way out. I think it was Taha on the on top of blue. That's where Taha is looking to make his play from. Hasib has already walked into near bar, looking for maybe someone who was roaming on 2F, making their way down. That's exactly how Taha had played it as the vigil itself, so exactly what he should be expecting as well. Heartbeat sensor deployed, not gonna find any pulses for now, but we can hear the sound of hatches opening up from the side of Fatar on that Ibana, and now all entryways should be open up from RUE, but they do have the man advantage. Hasib now trying to make his own rotation from outside the building, maybe heading back to the top of kitchen hatch, or maybe just going to dirt instead. The drones are coming in, but the Zami, an operator that wasn't banned by RUE, by the side of Hasib Warriors, has made a complete setup over there in Arsenal Room, like we were talking about in the previous hub. This is where the deployment will be coming. This is where Venom will be looking to make his mark, try and help RUE fight back for rounds.
And try is pretty much the effective word here, although I will say, despite losing Zedux early on, Hasib Warriors has certainly made it a point to not lose anymore. Grenades coming down the kitchen hatch, shots fired as Tony will be the one to go down, nearly took Taha out, but you ran out of bullets, and the Ying did not. Cryptic Fate taking a bit of damage, has to immediately run. He knows when he is seen, and the Lion Scan is going to stop him from going up the main stairs. Here come the Candelas, here come the flashbangs. They want to get in, they want to plan. That's another Candela, but Fadar is going to be found instead. Cryptic Fate got the drop on the attackers, and that is one more. Venom with the kill onto Hasib, and folks, looks like the side of Hasib Warriors just were not ready for this very, very strong defense here from Team RUE, as Baz is left the only one standing. And that is going to mean this Osa on the top, on the kitchen floor, has maybe 10 seconds, gonna go for the drop, gonna get seen, and gonna get cleaned up by Romar.
Yeah, there's nothing the Osa can do. I would just say maybe even save your KD, because there's no way in hell you are going to be ending up winning a round like that. He almost got somebody through the floorboards, but wasn't prepared enough. It was just maybe just doing it out of reflex of checking that. But for the side of RUE, they came to life. It looked like it was going a bit disastrous when Tony Plays got caught out on the top floor, on first floor. But after that, everybody, single person, was just winning gunfight after gunfight. A huge fact thanks to what Cryptic Fate did on the pulse as well. Got that early frag with the C4, gets a couple with the shotgun through the forward, doing fantastic work in equalizing the rounds between both these teams. And it looks like RUE are heading to CCTV to see what they can pull off against the Sea Warriors over here. And we might even see a double breach and a Monty coming out from a Sea Warriors, Blackjack.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. The Montaigne is in play. It's CCTV, and we've talked about this a million times over. Monty loves this part of the map, and for a very, very good reason. Of course, they're going to also keep the Maverick, who was not banned this time around because of the Grim and Blitz bans from the side of RUE's defense. So, folks, we've got a couple of picks here that we don't normally see. Hasib with the Monty. We've got Fathar going for the breach. Interestingly enough, they don't have any breach denial per se, so they're going to be relying on Taha going around to the door of, not the door, the window maybe, and throwing a couple of grenades down from there. Because, of course, the drone hole will probably get covered up by a Kiba barrier in just a moment, or at least Red Stairs will have a Kiba barrier protecting it. But the Bandit is the main point of contention here. You got to take him out. And what do they intend to do? Well, they could also use Maverick. I think that's the plan, actually. There you go. Maverick coming in, probably trying to do a little Maverick tricking, make the walls soft, and make this breach go by that much faster. I'm not sure if they're going to be using that little trick that Maverick can now do. Since electricity is a neutral tool now, he can just rappel on that wall and not get damaged and just, you know, be a little annoyed for his trouble. But looks like that won't be the case. Here we go. Garage door is broken. Monty's trying to push in. There's the Kiba barriers. He's got to be careful of that. That's going to force him to crouch if he wants to go up there. Good use of utility from Electric to just stall the Montaigne, who is also just sitting there kind of calling for help, being a big distraction.
He is being a big distraction. He's being pretty much like a human drone. He needs someone to help break the barbed wires as well as progress with him and fight at this so that Azami doesn't have to just look at one person. He has to look at two. That's exactly what's happening. But in the meantime, Cryptic Fate strikes again with the shotgun shell. This time taking down Baz, taking down the Maverick, who's looking to be opening up everything. So otherwise, because of that, the ace has to be deployed. And finally, the Monty looks to fight, but that's not the fight you want to take. Tony Place was ready and takes Hasib completely out of the round. But look who's struck in over here. Zelux has come in, throws two flashbangs, looking to a fast way up the stairs, but unfortunately for him, Electric comes out. Electric comes up supreme. Fathar looking to trade back with the pistol, but has, because he was on the reload, couldn't actually get anybody. It looks like the Sea Warriors have been completely denied this garage entry. Already two people have died here. It looks like Fathar wants to be joining Taha with the rappel, looking for somebody, but will not be finding anyone. And the fact that Tony Place doesn't have to look anywhere because there's barbed wire on the stairs means that he has his entire, every single angle covered. Only has to be caring about the guy rappelling outside. But look at Electric. He's going to strike up over here onto Fathar. Fathar tries it, but he was anyway so low. Fathar ends up going down, but Taha managed to find the kill onto Tony Place. But Cryptic Fate with the big man swing out of the breach comes in with the shotgun to close out the round exactly almost the way he started it.
Okay then, Cryptic Fate with the shotgun going off on Hasib Warriors, and Team RUE have taken their first lead of the night, folks. And what a time to take it, as well as they certainly are giving us a show here on Clubhouse. Ying is going to get banned from the side of RUE, which is an interesting decision. I will say the round that Ying was really effective in was in second for Gem in round number 7. And while that was, you know, like a really hard to deal with Ying play, it was because the side of RUE had lost so many bodies so quickly. And then on the other side, Hasib Warriors have opted to ban Azami. You know what? I get it. Mira hasn't really been a nuisance for them. Instead, it's been that Azami who's always been in their faces, so very hard to deal with. So that is the bans taken care of as we move now into round number 10. Back to second floor. Gym and bedroom as the only other site available for Team RUE. I mean, first floor bar is available, but nobody plays that unless you have a hyper specialized strat made specifically for that part of the map, which I don't think Team RUE does, or even if they do, they don't want to reveal that in this matchup. Because again, it is just an upper bracket semifinal, right? And I say just as if it doesn't matter. It does, of course, but you've still got a chance after this. You're not in desperate straits, or you're not in like the upper bracket finals or the lower bracket finals or the grand finals, where you're basically throwing every single card you have at the desk. So with all that said, let's see if Hasib Warriors has an answer, because they certainly need to come up with some. The last couple of rounds have not really gone their way.
It does not seem to be going their way, but this time they have made the entry into CCTV. They will also be looking to be going in from exactly where the Maverick is right now. He's randomly making his hold there, but this time Taha, more importantly, has brought out the black beard. This could be the change of it that Hasib boards. We know how difficult it is to deal with a black bear, and if this is not something that RUE is not prepped for, this could be disastrous. But Maverick yet again looking to be opening out this barricade for his team, making quick work of it. So I'm assuming he's going to come in very quick. Oh, we did hear a C4 coming in through, but unfortunately it did not manifest because the flames got it. But in the meantime, Electric gets the kill onto Taha. The Blackbeard that I was pumping up so much, unfortunately, will be the first casualty in round number 10 over here. And I see Warrior's face looks to be going from bad to worse. A lot of bullets fired by Venom between these bookshelves, but no, Zdux will actually get the headshot instead. There's a guy on stairs that Fatar is looking to manage, but for now the man numbers have been equalized as he gets the kill onto Electric. It's a 4 versus 3 on the catwalk. You can see a player is roaming around. Zdux has made a lot of progress for his team. Cryptic Fate is now making his way up the stairs. We know how deadly his shotgun has struck so far and so much in the last 2 rounds itself. Only but over here, Cryptic Fate looking with the SMG instead through the hole made in the castle wall. Oh, what was the shot? A nice burst of bullets, and the end result is Fatar getting eliminated from the round. Cryptic Fate looks to be doing it all. The shotgun jump outside. He does get the knock. He doesn't get the finish, and it's in a position that Baz can pick him up. After Baz gets the kill onto the man, chose to fall out the window, but the C4 comes in for the person who was just picked up Hasib. The Sledge, unfortunately, thought he was getting another chance at life, just instantly snuffed out by the C4 of the mirror. A 2 versus 2 is where we find ourselves in. 40 seconds left for the attackers to try and make their mark, but the doorways which they're trying to inform is being marked by Tony Place from the bathroom. The flash doesn't connect. They might think it's a blind, but Xerox's aim, Reign Supreme Baz with the follow-up as well will indeed secure the round for the side of Hasib Warriors, and it looks like attack pause is being called in after equalizing the rounds over here. This has been a tit for tat kind of map over here, Blackjack.
It really has been. It really has been a back and forth map, and I'll tell you what, they are certainly, RUE are certainly giving us quite a lot to chew on and to cheer for all of their fans in the chat. Hasib Warriors on the other side finally picking themselves up, giving themselves a much needed reprieve in terms of their round count. They have been on the receiving end of a beating in a couple of rounds so far, and even this round, they had a moment where it certainly looked dicey, until they managed to, of course, just quickly get themselves back into the running. I think it was Cryptic Fate just jumping up with the shotgun that kind of really hurt Team RUE a lot, because if Cryptic Fate stays alive, the shotgun stays alive, and that means any window jumping you do is inherently 10 times more dangerous, and that's something that I think they could not afford to lose in that moment. So, you know, that one play might have been what pretty much sealed the deal there, if you may. But with that said, the TAC timeout has ended. It is now round number 11, folks. 5-5 is the scoreline, and no matter what happens in this round, we are definitely going to the round of 1, the 6-5 round 12 scenario, where it will only take 1 round to either go to overtime or for one team to get map point and get the first map in total. So, who's it going to be? Who's going to be map point? Who's going to take us to either OT or not? Let's find out. With the pulse pick from Cryptic Fate coming back in, understandably so. But now we've got Zdux bringing out the big boy. Deimos has joined the chat.
Amos has joined the chat. Taha will be playing that same Blackbeard. Unfortunately, he could not make with much of an impact, getting taken out quite early into the round. But now, let's see how well it will suffice for the team. Who will get their first foot out of the door? Who will hit that, ultimate number 6 in the round column next to their name so that they can have the upper hand in this exchange? But I like the operator picks coming out from RUE. This is the operator picks that look to be fighting back. Here, yet again, bringing out the pulse. We have the Capcans coming from Romar. We haven't seen much Capcans. So Hasib Boris, I don't know if they'll be mindful to be checking the doorways on the way for entry. But Electric comes in with the FNAS. He does love playing MP7 type operators. He loves playing with the gun from what I can come out with him. And that FNAS game trigger there allows Cryptic Fate to make the move. But there's a drone that he has to deal with. Not sure if he got the last shot. This one, yeah, finally has cleared it out. But another one comes to take its place. The Heartbeat Center has been deployed, but nobody in the range of any C4s. Make sure the Cryptic Fate thinks that he can walk up, take away the drone as well, and maybe even go for more fights. But Deimos seems to be tracking down Tony Plays on the other side of the map over here, Blackjack.
Oh, Tony Plays under a bit of fire right now. He's got to be careful about the Deimos coming in, but never mind. The calls were probably given that, hey, he's jumping down garage, and Hasib immediately goes for the wallbang and gets it. Massive shout-outs right there to the coordination of Hasib Warriors, but of course, massive kill as well, as that's going to be your alibi gone. Cryptic Fate, of course, trying to find some heartbeats, will do so, knowing that the OSA is up there. But now, the Deimos comes in, he's going to try hunting him. Of course, Cryptic Fate is in a much better part of the map where you can't get shot from the ceiling, but never mind, he's going to try and risk it. He really wanted to bait the Deimos into maybe trying to shoot down the floor, and there he could see for him. That's exactly what he's going to be doing. C4's out, but Fathar only takes a little bit of damage. Not enough to dissuade him from continuing to be a menace. Wait a minute, Deimos is already down here. Shots are fired. Hasib gets one, gets taken out by Romar, and it's going to be a big fight at the moment. Fathar goes down to Electric as the Hasib Warriors' attack is getting a little too overconfident. Shots fired. The Blackbeard missing a lot. He's going to get one, but he's going to get two-sided from the back. It's going to leave Baz in a 1v2 now. Position given away with the one bullet that they fired, and they're going to get aggressed upon in just a moment here. Shots are being taken as a shotgun and an SMG. He manages to get one. He gets the second on the turnaround with the bomb chassis for cover. Beautifully done by Baz to hold the ship steady, to keep the team afloat, but not just that, to make it 6-5 and give Hasib Warriors the first map point in tonight's matchup.
Just map point of the side of the upper bracket semi-finals in the upper bracket. It's just amazing the way that he played that. He's isolated the fights nicely, used, like you were saying, the bomb chests for the cover, comes back in for the kill. He drops out so late. I was honestly thinking in my mind, what is Baz doing dropping so late? Why is he not with this team earlier? But he just went out and became a virtual hitman over there, takes down anybody that came in front of him. Even prevents his teammate from actually ended up getting completely finished off so that KD also gets saved up. But Baz comes in huge when his team needed it the most right now, especially in map number 1. Hasib Warriors inching themselves, bringing us to the round of 1, like Jen likes to say. 1 round for either overtime or 1 round from map 1 being done and dusted, and the check mark next to the name of Hasib Warriors in the book for this upper bracket semifinal 1. But that being said, we are going to basement yet again. Romar are going to make the switch up into the Thorn Electrics yet again with the FNATs, with that friend here. But we do see Venom bringing out the Scopus. We have seen this man have the tendency to time and time again try and bring out this operator, albeit whichever map that they are on. But Taha has made the more important switch from the Blackbeard into the full-on Monty over here.
Montaigne, once again, this time from Taha, is an interesting pick. I'll say that much, but I'll reserve judgment on how the Monties played based on the events of the round. Already first floor controls being taken really quickly right now, as we are, of course, back to Basement Church. But with all that said, folks, I am really interested to see what the kind of thought process here is from the side of Team RUE, as they desperately need this round. Zedux, in tandem with the drone, is going all in on the information gathering, as right now Hasib Warriors, all they need are a couple of early picks, and then suddenly you have yourself a quick round. but it looks like they've turtled up the side of the defense. They are holding in the sight and just in the sight. And that's exactly maybe the best decision for them right now. I am not seeing a roam. I am not seeing anybody on second floor. It is entirely a turtle strategy right now, which gives the Sea Warriors a lot of time to really dig their feet into the first floor, dig themselves into this situation. But it also gives RUE time to adapt, since they don't have to worry about any roamers going down early.
Yeah, that is true about that, but that's a one way to deal with the Xenox. But there's Hasib popping off, getting double with the SMG. Who's first prone, gets up, gets another. That's Cryptic Fate Electric. Unfortunately, gonna have to beat their maker for this most ultimate round. And now the ace is gonna open up. Fenrir has to be careful because he's in. Oh, sorry, the Venom has to be careful because he's in a very bad situation. Is going to be making a bit of the rotations on the side over here. But Romar with SMG gets the kill on the Xenox with another on to Tony plays, but there's only 2 members alive from the side of RUE, and Hasib Warriors are 4 men strong right now on their progress over here in basement. But Venom's gonna equalize. He's gonna cull the numbers a bit. He's gonna take Taha away, but Baz answers back into Romor, equalizing the numbers that were just taken away from his side. And then Fatar with the cleanup, with the final finishing touches over here in map number 1, in the map pick of RUE, and it's Hasib Warriors reigning supreme.
Hasib Warriors with the 7-5 winning the map pick that was taken by Team RUE. Team RUE were the ones, folks, who brought us to this map. Unfortunately, they will not be the ones to give us the round for themselves, of course. They would have wanted the 1-0 for the start of tonight. Unfortunately, that will not be the case, as we have ourselves the 7-5. And I'll tell you what, given Hasib Warriors' history on the map of Border, given what these players have shown us on that map before, I'll tell you what, I'm a little scared for the side of Team RUE right now, as this team is not to be underestimated on that map here, folks. But with that said, that's going to end the first map of Clubhouse 7-5, and we're back to our beautiful mugs once again. And of course, we're going to be doing the post-match segment, as we always do. Those who've been in the stream long enough, they know exactly what the flow is like. When, of course, we're welcoming back Bullet, our analyst for this map, which I did get wrong earlier on. Apologies, Bullet. But with that said, Bullet, take us through what we saw in map 1.
Yeah, talking about the side of the Hasib Boys defense, yes, there were some couple of rounds where they're kind of like, having a little bit of fun, bringing out the Kavera, and then, but up to round number 3 and up to round number 4, Zeta literally showed how you actually play Kavera, especially on a competitive stage like this. Him taking shots when it's necessary, him taking down the opponents when it's necessary, when they actually is getting the opportunity to do so, and then also getting that one interrogation on the round number 4. Not interrogation exactly, but getting that double kill on round number 4. Almost it was a clutch situation being given away. We're also talking about the side of that this Hasib Warrior is something very different. Hasib Warriors, well, from what we have seen in the previous years and previous stages of Rainbow Six Siege here in our region, they love to stick of what they know and love to stick some of the classic strategy. उनको जो पता है वो वही करते हैं. Coming on to the fact that them trying out new operators which has been introduced to the game, them trying out some really extraordinary operators which have been introduced to the game, is something which I did not really expect. Now, this was a part of a defense where RUE also had the opportunity to equalize up till round number 6. It was before the swap attack and defend swap was made. It was a scoreline of 3-3. Yes, RUE also got some really good elimination from their side. It was some of the classic defense here that we did. Also, we did saw some good Pulse Nitro C4s getting deployed and then getting early picks as well up against the side of Sea Warriors. But when Hasib Warrior got onto their attacking play, oh boy, you cannot underestimate the size of Baz. You just cannot underestimate the size of Taha's play. But also given the fact that I was not really in the favor of the bans which I saw coming in from the side of RUE. I was expecting a little bit of the different operator bans compared to what we saw in the very first half of the first map. Given the fact that, yes, now we have the stats screen, the number stats screen right on our screen. It was 7-5 victory, as you all know. But we have to give the credit to the side of RUE. Of course, some of these players are very much experienced. Yes, of course, some of these players have definitely played the longest time in the game. But it is more about I would say, the consistency coming out from the side of Hasib roster. Some of these, the lad from Taha, Hasib, And also remembering the fact that Bars was also like one of the oldest players in this roster. Some of these players have stick for years in this region. There are like very minute and very minor changes to the roster. You got to give credit to that. The chemistry and the coordination just surpassed to every other extent compared to what I'm able to see from the side of RUE. Blackjack.
Absolutely no. Their chemistry and their overall playstyle is certainly one that a lot of teams should be aspiring to. And I will say, we're going to see a lot more of that going forward into map number 2, folks. Because, of course, map 2 is Border, which was the pick of Hasib Warriors. And we've seen them play this map ridiculously well, even back during the days of Mercenaries. For those who remember, of course, they loved Border, and they certainly have a good track record. But we'll talk more of that in just a moment. Until then, we're taking a small break. Stay tuned.
You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the South Asia Elite Community Series for Rainbow Six Siege X here at Frag Nation in partnership with Ubisoft. I'm your host, Blackjack, back once again alongside my co-host, Bullet, and our analyst, Madness, for this particular map. Map number 2 between Hasib Warriors and Team RUE in a game that certainly looks to be heating up really well. Madness, I'm going to toss it over to you this time as I did get it right. You are the analyst for this round. I just had to double check because I got it wrong the first map. But given what we saw in map number 1, you and I, of course, we took the viewers through it. So walk us through what you're expecting here on Border, which is map 2.
So I think Bullet's talked about this very extensively, that Border is something of a speciality of the side of Hasib Warrior. So I'm expecting that's how map 1 went, that's how Clubhouse went, with Hasib Warriors kind of, let's say it like it is, throwing a couple of rounds here and there and playing however they felt like it, and then still ending up victorious. I think Border might be a bit of a cakewalk for them against RUE. I'm not sure. RUE did adapt pretty well to the aggression Hasib Warriors did, in that first half of map 1, right? They still came out 3-3, but it's up to see how well they can adapt to Hasib Warriors' playstyle on Border, because if they thought Clubhouse was aggressive, Border is going to be a completely different kind of beast that RUE has to deal with, and Hasib Warriors is playing it, and I'm probably expecting the series to go to a 2-0 over here, Bullet.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, from what I'm able to recall, because I was again at the desk when the South Asia Nationals were there in the partnership with Ubisoft back in 2023. Hasib Warriors was one of the top contenders when it comes down to be playing at the map of Border. But for now, folks, we have to say goodbye to the side of Madness. Thank you for your insights, and now it'll be me and Blackjack on the desk. I mean, I love to see Blackjack every now and then. Really good chemistry, either with me, either with Madness, when sometimes Baba goes style, it's aggressive. He's one of the top-notch talents in our region for sure. But again, now coming to the topic of bans, it is going to be the first foremost ban of Blitz, and makes sense. Hasib Warriors have a tendency to take out shields, especially one of the annoying shields that is right now currently the game is going to be the side of Blitz. Apart from the fact that he has a ballistic shield and it can flash you onto the face. We all know how that goes along with the side of Hasib Warriors. But again, a very clever ban coming from side of Hasib to take out the side of Azami. Now, Azami on Border can be a menace. It can be a huge menace when you're trying to cope up and go around the plants on the second floor, bomb side, whether it's even on the first floor, archives in the servers area as well. Talking about some other, strategies as well on, we have the Fender and the Blackbeard band. Two of the most annoying shields have been taken out. Makes sense, but still they have Monty. Still they can use an Osa talent shield. Still they can make their way on towards the side of is going to be the armory and the archives area. But for now, folks, it is going to be Hasib Warriors on their attacking side. Now coming to the picture of Blackjack, that how we saw the side of Hasib Warriors being a little bit more aggressive, being a little bit more dominant on their attack compared to what we saw them doing on their defense part. Again, comes down to the same fact that Hasib Warriors can actually outrun the side of RUE. We have to also give the credit of the fact that the adaptation game was coming a little bit late, but it was arriving very shortly for the side of RUE in the map number. So that same momentum, the same mental state can get carried forward on map number 2, as we do see, okay, it is going to be the first floor side of the tellers and the bathrooms getting picked up. Don't get me wrong, folks, that is one of the best sides that you can play, though after the rework has been introduced. But still, people prefer to play the second floor and the other two sides that you get on the second floor to, be as your first objective in the first few rounds of the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. First floor bathroom tellers is one of those sites that I think it really depends on your mileage, where you see that site fitting into your overall playstyle, right? And for Team RUE, it's a site that they see being their best foot forward. Zedex is already in waiting room. 0 resistance. Where are most of the players of Team RUE? They're mainly in first floor. There's only Tony Plays in second floor armory desk, but other than that, they're lurking towards workshop, and that's really it. Reloading. And I think Hasib Warriors has seen that. Look at this, they're breaching already on the sidewalls inside of tellers. That's going to be Cryptic Fate gone. Your Kaid is off the board. So that's one C4 taken away. Shots fired, and that's the second one. That's the smoke's gone, and they're already planting with the Montaigne, who's jumped in the window, I think. That is really fast right here. Hasib Warriors reading the defenders like an open book. The C4 didn't go through the beam. Electric didn't see it, and he downs himself. Tony manages to get Baz. That's one down. He is on the second floor, but I'm not sure how much he's going to get out of it because it's technically a 1v2. Electric finally gets cleaned up on by Taha. Tony finds Hasib. It's a 1v3 now. It's all down to Tony, who needs to find himself 3 angry attackers who are in the site. He's outside the building. All right, then. Hasib Warriors. This is what we were talking about, folks. All three of us, we were hyping up just how familiar Hasib Warriors is on this map. This is exactly why, as they have taken round 1 in what I can only describe is purely a comfort play. Like, they did not look uncomfortable at all.
The choo-choo train arrived and nobody was at the station. This is what happened at the very first. They took the entry from the second floor. They come all the way. They come all the way from the north balcony. People, they were very easily got the control of the east stairs. There was nobody playing on the offices. I don't know why. If there was someone, there was no retaliation play happening, and there was no gunfights happening. And they just made their way from eastern stair right on towards the waiting lobby. Yes, there was one defender who was playing on the custom area and towards that lobby angle. But I didn't see that retaliation gunfight, or what are you gonna call it, some bullets getting fired up from his side to just mark up the pressure onto the faces of the Sea Warriors. They very easily took the control of the entire site. And this is what I was afraid of, them going on towards the first floor objective very early, the bathroom teller's objective so early into the game. But that is done, folks, and they have to definitely adapt to the entire scenarios coming in from the side of a Sea Warriors. From now, as we do see the second floor site, the main one, the armory and the archives area getting picked up. For the change, we do have Tony playing on the Mira right now. They do have a lot of C4s now. They have 4 C4s combined. And of course, a whole lot of traps as well. Because of course, Mute is an anti-intel and anti-trapper on the same point. The same goes in for the side of Trap Meta, for the side of Cupcan. So it's to me, the operator lineup is very stacked up for the side of RUE. All they need to do is really just have to make sure the denials of the frag nades comes onto the same point, but deny those frag nades. There's no ADS, there's no magnet system coming in from the side of Wamai, so they gotta be very much careful if some of these frag nades get onto their faces, which is of course going to be especially the case right now on the archive wall, armory wall. Sorry.
Reloading.
Yeah. It's just a case of finding that footing, finding that gap, and really exploiting it. Mirror window's going to get busted open right there from the Mirror herself, and that, of course, is going to be a little bit more of, something to worry about. Now, since there is no Kaid, I'm really interested in the fact that there has not been any breach done. Taha has secondary EMPs, but I think that's exactly what's going wrong. The Bandit has probably tricked a couple of those Selma charges. Actually, no, they haven't attempted it yet. They are just playing it safe. They haven't gone for the breach at all, other than one EMP being thrown from the Montaigne. He's giving away position to the Mirror. He's giving away position of half wall, but where are the other attackers is my question. 3 of them are kind of stuck around here by the main wall. Here's the breach finally happening. C4 goes out, and Fathar's going to be finding Cryptic Fate. Well done on the bait right there. C4's toss. Will that find one? Yes, it does. Hasib to fall, and Fathar takes so much damage right there. A little bit of an unfortunate moment right now. Electric comes around. He's going to find Zedux, and that's 2 down for the price of 1. Even with the Grim Bees, it's not looking too hot right now for the side of Hasib Warriors, as their entry was pretty much... their only entry plan was get in from the main wall and take over half wall, it seems, and it has not worked. Another set of Grim Bees going out, another set of Grim Bees going out, but how much is that really going to do for the team right now? Monty unshields himself, or gets into half-shield territory. He's trying to be a bit of a menace right now, but this Mira will not let up, no matter what. Grim! No! He didn't see her! He's gonna go on the other side, he's gonna fight 2 instead! Boss gets taken out for his trouble by the Mira. Electric finds Fathar on the other side. It's a 1v2, but never mind. Tony comes around and gets the final kill, stopping the Montaigne of having any chance to clutch this situation. Oh dear me, Baz He had a moment. I'll tell you what, had he just looked around and seen the mirror, because then Tony didn't see Grim. Tony was too tunnel visioned onto the Montaigne, and Baz was too tunnel visioned looking the other way. Massive moment of, oh my god, a comedy of errors. That's the best way I can describe it right there. From both teams. Team RUE managed to come out on top. They're going to go back to first floor bathroom and tellers after what has to be a heart-stopping round for them. But they've equalized very early on, and that's a good sign for them. That's a good morale booster going into round 3.
Mistakes were made from both sides. I just gotta put it like that. I mean, yes, we can say for a fact that they didn't see them, the tunnel vision and everything like that, but at this stage when you're playing, both of these teams have not lost any single series up to here, because this is going to be upper bracket match. So I kind of do not expect something like that what happened with Tony and everybody. So it is what it is now. They have to make peace with it, and of course it is going to be the opening round for the side of RUE, which they have to capitalize as well. You gotta say for the fact that a lot of the plays happening from the side of C Warriors, even in the side of map number 1, is depending a lot on the shield play. And love to see how shields are being utilized so very extensively and so very impactful from the side of Hasib Warriors. Not in just like this particular map for the last couple of rounds, even map number 1 that we saw in their attacking play. But for the moment, yes, some of the heavy hitters like Fatar, Baz, and Hasib are not able to find the sign like the same momentum which they were able to do on map number 1. How we can forget the Baz clutching it out, which was the 1v2 clutch happening in round number 11 to just make sure that they end it. And there was also one more round, I guess it was round number 8 or round number 9, was able to get a double pick when it was extremely needed for the side of C Warriors to put out the man advantage onto their side. But for the moment now, we do see Demas getting picked up from the side of Zedus. I love to see how Zedus is able to play some of these operators like Caveira on the defense. I love to, we have seen him playing Vigil in the last couple of rounds in the last map. Now on Demas, able to just pinpoint that one single guy who can actually provide that intel, who can actually toss him out of the map. Right now, do see the C4 connection being made. Ooh, misses by an inch. A lot of damage has been done though, and they know for a fact that there's going to be someone playing on the workshop area on the basement floor. Why we don't call it a basement floor? Why is it the first floor? Inwards. Hasib gets the pick on Electric, a good pick coming right up, and still it's going to be a good defensive play from the side of RUE to actually deny a whole lot of time from the side of Hasib Warriors, even though Electric has been taken out momentarily.
Deimos with the first scan of the round, and it's going to be on Tony, the Melusi, who is not exactly on the second floor, but not exactly in a safe spot either. Never mind. Cryptic's going to get that kill regardless. Tony does go down to Hasib on the other side. Double kill to Hasib. Make that a triple. He's just on the main window. It does not matter. Here's the Montaigne planting inside the bathroom. Can they deny this? No, they cannot, as it's a quad. Hasib really lining it up right now. The plant will not be denied. Shots are fired, and Taha will get the wall bang on the Frost right at the end there. Oh, the ace denied, but of course the plant will be successful, and the final kill goes the way of the Montaigne. C Warriors, they are coming in strong once again. This round looked a little bit better for them compared to the previous one, as I will say, when they have a multifaceted attack plan, that's when they really shine on border. And that's not to say that they haven't. They've really been showing us a lot so far. And there you go, the Montaigne ban was going to come out. Melusi has been taken out on the other side. I think both bans were kind of expected, although I will say, in place of Melusi, I was almost expecting a Pulse ban, given how much RUE has been using Pulse. But at the same time, they have not opted that operator instead. They've gone for the one who slows them down, quite physically speaking. But with that said, now, round number 4, we're back to base bathroom tellers. See, now you got me going with the basement stuff. But I will say, bathroom tellers, they've lost twice now, Team RUE, right? I think going back here might not be the best course of action. Maybe changing to workshop, or going Hail Mary and bringing out customs inspection might actually be the way to go. But hey, that's just me. Team RUE, they're a team known for switching things up when it's not going correctly. So this insistence on repetition is what's kind of surprising to me right now.
Yeah, to be straightforward from my side, I don't see this being a wise decision. they have completely been torn apart, whether it's from the side of Ash getting up those picks from the window, whether it was the very first round where Hasib Warrior was just able to steamroll into the side. Yes, on the last round, they were able to stop the entire timer out for the side of Hasib for more than like 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock. But even after it, Hasib is able to get those from the main window outside the side. So them being a little bit, very, very kind of like orthodox about this site is something that a competitive game like Siege won't favor them. They know for a fact that their opponent are able to basically pick you out one after another. So it's wiser to change the objective side, because there are reason there are 3 or 4 sites available in this map. So changing side would have been a better play, but I guess they have something in the plan with the vertical play getting denied or something like that. But we don't see actually anybody from the side of defense playing on the second floor. What? Anyways, folks, I don't wanna sound like the guy that knows everything about Siege, but not a wise strategy of everybody playing on the first floor. They have beamers, they have IQ, they have fuse. They're gonna make you roll out to your anchoring positions. They're gonna make you a swift and switch angles that you have to do. Everybody's kind of like pulled up on the inspection side. We do see a kind of like a very ballsy play coming from the side of Tony. He's right up in the main sense and has been targeted from the side of Adimu's Mark. So her intel is completely getting changed and getting relayed towards the entire team. And of course, what is that Adimus and him communicating with the teams? He's trying to take up a very, very there we have it. Very cheeky and a very submissive angle. He will getting caught off guard from the side of Fatah, was right there on the eastern stairs, and that is going to be the opening pick coming on from the side of Hasib with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock.
Minute 10 on the clock, and Electric to go down. That's the Deimos coming in, and of course the IQ following up. Here is Taha coming in for the plant right now. They got the fuse shield out this time, and the metal stairs read will beats there. The double kill for Boz, and Cryptic falls to Hasib. It's all down to the last defender jumping out into waiting room. It is Venom. He manages to no, he doesn't actually get one. Instead, he's going to be pushed by Fatar, and that's a flawless round to Hasib Warriors. Goodness gracious me, they have completely just taken over this bathroom teller site, and that's why both me and Bullet said the same thing. Going back to that site was just not the right decision for the side of Team RUE. They needed to go somewhere else. They needed to change it up, and this kind of shows me that they might not have been ready for Border as the map pick of the night. As I will say though, Hasib Warriors pulling out Border, technically speaking, this early in the tournament was not really expected. I think was what maybe was going on in their brain, and they might have been thinking, especially after Clubhouse, that hey, Border, they might also take it a little easy for a couple of rounds. We might be able to get a couple off of them, and I just am not seeing that, right? The closest to what we saw in rounds 1 and 2 of Clubhouse from the side of Hasib Warriors, that kind of comedy show, that might sound a little harsh, but it pretty much was what it was, right? Round 1 and 2 of Clubhouse, round 1, 2, and 3, I will say. Team RUE faced something only a fraction of similarity of that in round number 2 when we came to Secular Armory, which was when we had Hasib Warriors pretty much saying, hey, we're going to go for main wall breach and that's all we're going to do, right? Which was very much like, hey, we're just not going to bother. Ooh,
what?
Venom
Nice.
with an early peek. Beautiful shot right there, and that's going to be Taha as well, your breach denier, or at least breach util denier, gone. That's a huge first pick.
That's a huge first pick. Apart from that, I don't see anybody having the secondary EMP charges as well. I guess with I normally have that option. I'm not too sure about it, but even if he has the option, Baz is taking up the stun nades. So it's going to be a little bit hard, even if somebody's going to decide up to, disable those top 20 EMPs and mute charges, and of course, even the Valkyrie, if they are not able to figure out where those black items are at. And a sufficient 2 at 3 meter radius, you can actually disable the battery comms if you're able to toss it out. But for the moment, a huge opening pick coming in from side of RUE. If they're able to maintain on it, it's going to be a very, very big round
the momentum shift that is absolutely needed. Serious on the aside is able to spot the side of Tony momentarily, but very, very long range angle. He's trying to land up those shots, but yep, them taking the control of the foundation, even after being one man out, is something we did not expect. The Captain knows is going to start up to the firebolt. He's trying to take the positioning out from the side of Frost, though. It's going to be the wall back. It's going to be Fatar to get the kill on Omar. Mira almost going down, but that's going to be the side of Valkyrie. Electric gets taken off from the side of Val with the shotgun. Hello! I guess it is going to be Cryptic. Oh, gets a very good shot on Hasib with that SMG11. He probably has a chance to put up a second. Yes, he gets the second as well. The bullet holes getting made from the side of Tony with the shotgun. And we do have somebody playing on the first floor workshop, and that is going to be the side of Baz. He's trying to maybe get on with that Amaru grappling hook on the hatch, but he has to somebody has to take out either side of Cryptic or the side of Tony before he can proceed now. We have the frag, nades getting swapped out. Uno just reconsider positioning, and yes, he comes very close to the side of Hasib, switching on towards the newer the automatic pistol that was used with Aurora. Yes, he gets the yellow ping. Even after getting the yellow ping, gets the trade. Tony gets the trade on Hasib. It's going to be a 1v1. It's going to be a battle of shotgun up against an SMG. It doesn't have the carrier control as well, so he has to go for the kill. Tony knows where he's at. He's very, very close to the side of Baz. Tosses a stun. He doesn't get stunned. Oh, he threw the stun. He gets the kill on Baz. A great pick coming in from side of Tony. Great trade on Hasib as well. Tony makes up this round, coming in for the side of RUE. And what a great play in the end. Almost doing a 2v4.
Fantastic play from both teams. That's what we like to see, as they gave us quite the close game right there. Coming down to the 1v1s in the dying seconds of the rounds, as they, wow, that 2v4, nearly pulling off that 2v4. I'm still there, Bullet, mentally speaking, because they certainly almost had it. Almost. All they needed was maybe for the Amaru to push a little earlier, but even then I can't really criticize it because the timing was just not there, right? Realistically, in that moment, when do you even, go for the grapple hook up the hatch? Anytime you do, because it's a 2v2, one of the other defenders can just disengage and take you down, right? And that's when you leave your sledge in a 1v2 instead, which, again, similar situation, right? So it was just an unwinnable situation when you think about it from both sides. Nobody could disengage from their position in time to really aggress. Just like we saw the mute, I think it was Tony playing that, who tried to push into Fountain, tried to push the sledge with the shotgun, and he got taken down because Tony had enough time to fully reload and get his bullets ready. Not Tony, excuse me, the sledge had time to fully reload and get his bullets ready. So, again, there was just not anything anyone could do other than play the round the way it did. But with that said, we now have the first floor customs site of choice. Not customs, excuse me, workshop site of choice. So, that is a good decision being made here from the side of RUE. They saw that they were not doing it on the side of Tellers, and so they decided, you know what, enough is enough. We are switching it up. We are going to workshop, and we're going to see what this brings for us. Better late than never, despite the fact that this is the last round of the first half. And we've got a little standoff happening here between Hasib watching Sandwich, and I do believe that's Cryptic on that armory side.
Or is it Tony? Both of them are right now in armory, and with both of them being from the same city, it's really hard to tell. Actually, both of them. One on the half of the other side of the ball, and there's going to be Tony as well. Almost getting a good damage, though. Could have been a headshot coming in from side of Hasib. He has to intersect his position, the position getting swapped up towards the hatch area. Cryptic also going to make sure that somebody push it up. He's going to just toss in that toxic bait. The breach gets open, though. The other two attackers are fighting a very different play up on the second floor, and the other three attackers over here are trying to take control of the site. And this is the kind of siege that you want to witness when it comes down to at this competitive stage. We do have somebody else also, that's going to be Frost, who have taken up the rotation from the eastern stairs, I guess, going up towards the main hallway. That's going to be Electric connecting the C4. Taha goes down. Possibly the second one coming up from side of C, where Cryptic goes down. There's going to be confirmation coming up momentarily. And we do have the logic bombs getting in play. I guess it can be one more C4 getting tossed, either from the side of Benam. But drops out the hatch, gets one. Bas gets a trade on the Benam. Out of nowhere, Bas gets one. Toss it with the C4. Romar gets the side of Hasib. Full chaotic play. Romar is still alive, but gets taken out momentarily on the main hallway. What was that round? And how did that happen?
Ay. Okay, Hasib Warriors. They certainly know how to take control of first floor, don't they? As they completely denied any chance of RUE having a moment, even though the body count was equalized, even though I think the first kill did go to Team RUE, it doesn't matter if you can completely shut them down in that emphatic fashion. And that's exactly what Hasib Warriors did right there. So Team RUE right now, they've got their work cut out for them as they are now on the other side, 2 and 4 down. Hasib Warriors 2 rounds away from going for the map point, match point, and series point. So really, all the pressure of the world is now on their shoulders. Yes, they can go into the lower bracket and fight against, I think it might be either Won't Stop Peaking or Dead Eye Esports. Should be Won't Stop Peaking if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And yes, they could do all of that. And it's like, oh, hey, we have the second. Huh? No, I thought I heard someone speak. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, they can go down to the second, to the lower bracket, and they can do all that. But really, do you want to? Do you want your streak to be interrupted here and now? I certainly don't think so. But with that said, round number 7, it's in play. The bans have happened. It's Grim and Ace alongside Valkyrie and Mira. Now, Hasib Warriors, we've hyped up your border play, and you've certainly shown us a good attack half. Let's see what your defense half has in store.
Try to get through that.
Dude, what was that? I'm still awestruck with that kill. Hasib takes a drop, a no scope. Oh my god. I mean, I'm still in that awestruck. I'm still awestruck about that moment over there. But for now, folks, we have to let it go. Oh, somebody trying to do a spawn peek or a run out, and that's going to be the side of Hasib. I love the old and golden age period of the Pro League rules, where in the very first 2 seconds or 5 seconds, correct me, chat if I'm wrong about it, where you could not go outside of the map or do a spawn peek attempt. But now the rules have changed. I guess it got changed very years before, back in year 6, I guess, or year 5. But again, for the moment, there are a couple of runouts which can be again attempted from the side of Hasib if they have the information. They can get very, very excited about the fact that they are 2 rounds ahead, and that's what we saw in the previous matchup as well, previous map as well. But at the moment, it is something that RUE needs to take care of. It is something that RUE needs to capitalize on. It's going to be, if you know it's going to be someone trying to do up a run out, you throw up your drones, you place your drones right up on these corners when you are having that information out, and you can take these things out if they're coming into another run out. But for the moment, we do have some of these. Who was that impact coming out from the side of Taha? No, sorry, it was someone else. We do have Taha playing on the security room. We do see a whole lot of castle barricades being done on the security room side to actually stop the initiation and the side extension control from the side of RUE. So it's a great tactic being laid off from the side of Hasib to go up on the side extension towards the side of security room. Then you have somebody playing on the east stairs as well. I love the distribution which has been done, but Tatar gets the opening pick on Electric. Electric has been the heavy hitters in the map number 1 as well. Him getting taken out very early can affect the entire course of the game.
Oh. Baz going for the long play right there, getting another pick, and a beautiful one at that. As there we go, double to Baz. He's going to go over to the half wall, or close to the door actually. Shots fired, but no, he's going to find the Osa the moment that Osa, that is to say, not Osa, excuse me, the Thermite decided to go for a peek off the shield. Romar on the floor, and Tony upside down repelled, the only one remaining. One run out, and that might be all she wrote here for the side of RUE, as I don't think they were expecting this half open wall defense here, as evidenced by the number of kills that the Aruni managed to pull out from this part of the map. Beautifully done by Baz, beautifully done by HWA once again. And RUE right now, they are bleeding, and Romar, unfortunately, looks like might actually bleed out on the floor right there. A little sad to see him go that way in this round, but it is what it is. That's going to be the triple kill to Baz. There you go. And Tony, now the last one standing in what is pretty much an unwinnable. Okay, I don't want to call it unwinnable. We've seen 1v5s happen before, but it's very close to unwinnable as it can get at the moment. There you go. Baz will come around, get the quad for himself from the drop on the hatch. That's going to be, folks, the 5-2. What a way to start the defense half for Hasib Warriors. Once again, an emphatic message being sent to Team RUE here.
Yeah, I don't see the tactical timer being used. Both the sides have one of that. I guess they have double. Or they have just one single timeout per map. So this would be the right time to use a tactical timer from the side of RUE, and we can just like queue it up. Of course, all thanks to the with the introduction of CJX. I guess it was back in the year 9 only. Yeah, not CJX, back in the year 9, where you can just even like not request via the text side, you can just request from the options within the game, and the next tactical timeout will be queued up after the current round ends up. So no tactical timeout also being used from side of RUE is something that tells about their entire decision to play on this map was a little bit unsure. Because if they had something in mind, they would have definitely used that tactical timeout. Of course, you need it, to be frankly speaking, to even like stop the entire momentum push coming in from side of going in towards the side of Hasib Warriors, and also have that 60 seconds or 50 seconds of the tag timeout to actually rethink what's going on from your side. Yes, some of these gunfights are very cheeky, but even when Hasib Warriors are giving you that opportunity to take some of these very early counters, you are not able to capitalize on those scenarios. And this is something which is going to set apart the difference between these two teams. Hasib Warriors, some of these players are the big heavy hitters. Whether it's the side of Baz popping up with the Ash with the AK-12, sorry, in the map number 1, whether it's the side of Hasib actually popping up with Ash in his attacking side. But for now, we do see Baz right now on 12-3. That's a huge number right there. A double digit right up in the very, very first 7 rounds is going to decide a lot about the course of this action. There we go, the entry being denied. Electric gets taken out with the Kavita's SMG. Okay, I didn't see that. But anyways, folks, that's going to be Hasib picking up his 10th kill off this map right here. Now, that's going to be very early denial coming on the face of RUE. Very, very early denial.
Well, very early. He's putting it lightly. They haven't even gone past the 2-minute mark here. Benham's going to find Fatar, who was getting a little too over-aggressive on the Archives table right there. But Cryptic goes down. Taha with the turnaround. He gets taken down, however, as the push has come in through Armory. Of course, this isn't the site. The site is down below on Bathroom Tellers. But the way that Hasib Warriors has played it, it certainly did feel like it might have been Armory. At least RUE has certainly made to be played like it is Armory. Hold, shots fired. Oh, Cduck's missing by a pixel right there. Trying to get another going for himself right now. The drone might see him. Venom's going to take a ton of damage right now. He's going to go down. They can't stop Cduck's with the DMR here. That's the Rooney back once again. Hasib coming around, trying to go for a poke with that pistol. Cduck's does finally fall, and that is a much-needed kill. Tony with the shutdown. Here we have the shotgun coming in. Oh, dear me. Beautiful flick right there from Baz. And that's Tony on the floor, 6 feet under. Romar in a 1v2. It's possible, but you're going up against both Baz and Hasib, 2 people who have been in all form right now. Shots fired from the verticality, and Hasib will get the drop on Romar, despite the few missed bullets. But I'll tell you what, this is Hasib Warriors in peak fighting condition, as they are 6-2, having now secured series point.
Dude, this is a straight up domination coming from side of Hasib. Them not just allowing to even get their opponent a 3rd victory, neither on their defensive side, neither on their attacking side. This is Hasib Warriors at its finest. Love to see them, boys. Still sticking it to it. I remember, I guess, I'm not very sure about it, but I guess Zedis was definitely not part of the playing 5 back, I guess, a couple of years back. I just want to say the 2024 season, I can just say, like last year. But at this point of time, on how they have stuck together as a team and have played in the region tournament one after another, it is that one factor which is also going to decide a lot of the things on how their entire run the tournament is getting impacted. Boy, oh boy, we know this is a very common thing, Blackjack. If you and me play together, ranks and ranks, one after another, like almost for a year altogether,
you and me know how we will play so on point with the coordination that, hey, if you're going to pick up Ash, I'm going to play on their flex operator. If I'm going to play on the support operator, you're going to pop up a Brava or maybe a Flores to give me that kind of like, destroying up those, opponents' utility. It's all about that coordination factor, which I think it is the major difference right now. I'm not saying that RUE doesn't have the capability. I mean, we did saw how Tony and Bana was able to pop off in taking those gunfight up against the side of Baz and Hasib in the couple of rounds previously. But at this point of time, on how the sheer coordination is getting played out from the side of Hasib, especially the perfect example would be the last round defense. It is outmatched at the moment. But for now, folks, I guess what? You have the numbers on screen. I'm so sorry about that. Excuse me for a second. It's going to be a C's pointer coming in from the side of Hasib. If they are able to get it, there's going to be a shutdown with a 7-2 scoreline. And the last one was a 7-5 scoreline, which was a little bit closer from the side of RUE on how they turn up that little late adaptation coming onto the map number 1. But for the moment, Hasib Warriors are kicking it on right on the face of RUE. And it is going to be just like a moment until if you see a quick, 50-second quick kills coming in from both sides. But for now, I guess they know the location of the guy playing on the half wall, and they're trying to just take him out, which is of course going to be none other than the side of, I guess, Zed is playing onto it. Castle gets the pick on Cryptic, a big one. And it was a swing right there. Fatar gets the pick on Romar out of nowhere from all the way to Archives. And there you have it. Fatar is just trying to go revive his teammate, though. It's going to be in a deviant state. But it's going to be a little bit risky, by the way. Just trying to, just going for the gunfight with the holographic sight might be a little bit difficult because the magnifier scores are not a part of the defensive strategy now. Benam gets the pick on Taha. It's going to be a 3v4. Can be getting traded, though. Yes, Baz and Hasib being left out in a 2v3 now.
2v3 to Baz and Hasib, but wait a minute, Hasib's on the second floor. He went for the flank, and he got one for himself. Now the other two have dropped down into the first floor. They're in the site. They could go for the plan, and they will be doing so. Tony with the diffuser getting the box on the floor. The ping is there. Can it be stopped in time? Shots fired, but no. Tony gets away with the skin of his teeth intact. And now this is a dangerous situation to be in for Hasib. He is giving away a lot of sound with the way he's rotating around right now. Ping is gonna go out, and will that be the death of one? Yes, it will be! He gets the inside ping! There was a camera that they did not take out, and that is one! But can he get the other is the main question here. He's gonna come in, not gonna clean up because, alright, there we go. He's gonna clean up his kill right there, but 10 seconds, he doesn't have time. He's running out of it quickly. Shots fired. Will he get the final kill? Not quite. And the time is being successfully wasted by Tony, who allows the team of Team RUE to hang on to dear hope right now as they manage to eke out their third round. And as they say, better late than never. 3-6 down. They need to play through 3 more series point rounds before they can even go to overtime and have a hope of pushing for map 3. On the side of Hasib Warriors, they actually did play that relatively well. They weren't doing any kind of weird strategies. It was just a case of being a little too over-aggressive that was ultimately their undoing. With the bans coming in, Azami and Dokubi, the final bans for Border.
Yes, sir, and a great way to just fill out the gap from the side of Hasib, from the side of RUE onto the face of Hasib Warriors. If your opponent, and this is what I was talking about a couple of rounds before, if your opponents are showing that over aggression, you gotta be ready to take them out when you have the opportunity to do so. Great play coming from side of Tony. He is going to be one of the heavy hard hitters coming in from side of RUE. Right on the faces of Taha and Buzz, he's able to take him out on the second floor, being able to take the vertical control, and then we saw the Hasib coming in for the flank. Even if it wasn't the flank being the case, I don't think that, almost a 1v2 clash happening in the favor of Hasib. That was a very, very clever play happening from side of Kapkan, who was, again, getting played from the side of Hasib. At the moment, it's going to be the second floor armory side getting picked up from side of Hasib, and now there's going to be a case where they just want to shut this out because they know the fact that they had all the fun. Baz is going 13-4, Hasib is going 13-5, Fatal is 7-4 at the moment. This is going to be one of the best maps that we have seen in the upper bracket. Games are more able to get up from the stats as well. And at the moment, you just cannot also just make this out of RUE. If they're able to just push this down further, one round after another one, they are not very far away, but still there's going to be a lot of work to be done from the side of RUE to push this to overtime.
A lot of work is putting it lightly. Cryptic Fate bringing out the Montaigne. They've got the Capitao and they've got the Ying. Looks like they want to go for a quick rush plant, potentially on Archive's door. At least that's how you would play it with this lineup. They've got the Finca as well to allow them a little bit of heal, a little bit of boost, a little bit more recoil control. And there you go, Cryptic Fate coming into position, being followed closely by Ramar with the 100-round LMG, 81 rounds on Ying, and of course 51 on the battle rifle for the Lion. And yeah, this is 100% a rush plant strat right now. Shots fired, but wait a minute, grenade doesn't go in the right place. The second one should. Here we have the firebolts and being thrown out just to flush out the defenders at the moment. C4 is about to come flying in just a second here, but I don't think it did. We have ourselves that stalemate. Castle's position is given away. Cryptic Fate taking a bit of damage as well. But here we go. The Rooney Gate's been denied. He's going to be in there. He's in there. And now the plant could happen. The Candela's coming in, but no, here comes the C4. That's the diffuser drop right now. And that's huge for the defenders. Shots fired, and they're completely read into and completely taken to town. They did not clear the bottom vertical. They did not clear the top floor properly. They didn't get themselves the angles that they needed to. And Venom, he can only do so much as he will fall at the end of it all, folks. That is going to be it for the side of Hasib Warriors versus RUE, as they have taken border in dominating, emphatic fashion, ending on a flawless round with a 7-3 and a 2-0 map count.
Yeah, I told you about it, my man. I told you about it. Border has been one of the dominant maps coming in from this side of, Hasib Warriors. They have extensively had a history of just winning every round that they play on the side of Border. Yes, I could be a little bit wrong about other maps when it comes down for the side of Hasib Warriors, but I just cannot be now for sure. Can be not uncertainly wrong about their play on Border. But for now, folks, it's going to be Madness joining us back here as the analyst for this map. What do you think about Madness? Apart from the one-sided domination, and apart from Hasib Warriors, especially Hasib and Bas, just going one after another. One guy was 14-3, another guy was 16 after this round went over. What do you have to say about this border map that we just witnessed in a very dominative fashion coming in from side of Hasib Madness?
We were hyping it up, since map 1, like the end of map 1, how good this is going to be for Hasib Warriors, and it just truly delivered in the fact that this was, like you're saying, domination, the drop down, the no scope, the everything by Hasib, and then just complete class outshone. But this is because this is their map pick, and this did slip through the second part, the second favorite of theirs. But yeah, at least RUE, at least first map, the one that they chose, they put up a good fight. They did take us all the way. They did almost take us to overtime. But this one, unfortunately, this is going to be a bit more of like a blimp. At least on the better half, they're not knocked out. They have another chance in the lower brackets. That's where RUE can make their comeback, coming back into this competition over here, Mike.
Yeah, that's the main thing here, right? That they still have one more chance. And RUE are going to be counting on that because they are now the team that is going to want to take the place of that lower bracket revenge tour right here and now. Of course, Won't Stop Peaking and Deadeye Esports, D3 as we like to call them, are doing the same, or trying to do the same, so to speak. So we will have to wait and see, folks, exactly what they have to bring out for us, what these teams have when they end up going head to head. And of course, we are just waiting for that matchup. But of course, we have everything that we normally do go through, which is our post-match segment here. And all things considered, analyzing the game isn't really going to take us that long, because let's be real here. Yeah. As Bullet said, as I've mentioned, as you've mentioned as well, it was a domination game. Hasib, it was pretty much like RUE was just living in Hasib Warriors' world when we came to Border, right? Clubhouse was a much, much closer game, despite the initial jokey rounds that were played by Hasib Warriors to start us off. But RUE, after that, they just did not have any room to work with when it came to Border. Every single round that I really want to talk about, except for a couple of here and there, where Hasib Warriors did slip up. Round 2 comes to mind, second floor armory, where they were on the attack, especially that moment of Grimm's looking one way, Mira's looking the other, even though you can kind of see Grimm from Mira's POV, and they just don't know where the other are because they're too focused on something else. It was a whole thing. But other than minor things like that, and I call it minor at the grand scheme of things, because 7-3, I don't think Hasib Warriors is going to be worried about one round where, Baz did not see one guy sitting in one corner, right? Then really not going to be worried about that. So that's really where it stands for them. They're going to move up to the upper bracket finals, and that's going to be a game to watch out for next weekend. As I'll tell you what, whoever is fighting Hasib Warriors, they have their work cut out for them, Bullet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is going to be the side of Won't Stop Peaking, and there's going to be a big one. Won't Stop Peaking has some of the, very, very, how do I put it? Some of the very veteran players I've seen. Yes, some of the roster changes have been there, but again, even if if you want to ask me honestly, I am looking forward. If I don't want to just say that, I don't want to jinx it that either of these guys are going to lose. I'm very eager to see the side of Deda Esports making their way all the way back to the side of Hasib Warriors and then playing on the playoffs finale, the upper bracket finale, if you ask me honestly, because these two teams, again, like you put it, these two teams are having that sheer competitive experience, some of the older players from our region. But again, we cannot underestimate this Hada Won't Stop Peaking as well. I'm pretty sure they're gonna give a really good fight coming on towards the either way, Team Wu or Berserking, whoever loses out on the next upper bracket semifinale. But other than that, again, coming back to the game that we have just witnessed over here, apart from domination, I don't have any other words to describe it momentarily. Yes, in the very first map, yes, it was that little bit of that late adaptation game coming onto the play. But apart from that, this was more of Hasib Warriors know what they are doing. Yes, gotta give credit to the fact that RUE also went for some of the very extraordinary operators that you don't see on the first map of Clubhouse. Also give credit to the side of Hasib Warriors as well, because in our region, adapting to some of the newer operators was not exactly the case, even a couple of years before, even if what we have got the data on the Qualifier 1 sheet as well. So kudos to teams on that part, making sure that they are able to adapt to some of the new operators, the new metas coming onto the scene, because as you all know, folks, one of these teams will make it to the South APAC slot, and that is a huge moment for the entire region.
Two teams getting that higher grade for themselves, and yeah, like you're talking about the Denaris are coming out. We're seeing a couple of opportunities you don't see. We're seeing a couple of plays custom. We saw a complete Xerox just pretty much just playing Cav throughout most of that map, and he had a lot of fun in map 1 but map 2 onwards, yeah, you couldn't do much on the side of border. It is done and dusted. Hasib Warriors have the one under lock, at least for now. And yeah, maybe lower bracket runs can be a bit on the different side depending on how your day is going to go. But yeah, Hasib Warriors have definitely brought themselves a nice spot. They're going to have some time to watch over the competition as well, have a couple of days to rest up, so see exactly what or who might end up playing against them in that upper bracket final. So they have bought themselves a nice time period, and they can strategize depending on see the strategies. At least other teams have seen how Hasib Warriors now plays on borders. Now we're going to have to keep that in check or in mind moving on in the competition over here. Blackjack.
Yeah, that's the big thing about tonight, right? That's also why I was considering the fact that they brought out this map of border tonight, right? Because that's going to be kind of their ace in the hole given away, or at least one of them. And the fact that they feel confident enough to play border tonight, you know what that tells me? That tells me they've got something more that they've cooked up in the meanwhile. And that is probably what we'll get to see when we get to that upper bracket final. And who knows, maybe even the grand final. Hasib Warriors are certainly looking like favorites to get there to the grand finals, folks. At least I will stake my claim on that for the time being. But with that said, we're just waiting on the statistics to come in. Excuse me right there. I had a moment of brain freeze. Not enough ice cream today. But with that said, just getting the statistics here is just what we're waiting for. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the overall map screens. And that'll be pretty much it. Like I said, there's not really much to talk about tonight, given the way the game's played out. And although I will say, one kind of note from my end, more so for the viewer's convenience, is that if you've been noticing my volume sliding up and down every now and again, that is purely because Windows hates me right now, and it keeps auto-adjusting my mic volume. I don't like talking about this stuff on stream, but I kind of have to get it off my chest. It has happened 3 times today in the span of these 2 maps, okay? So I think right now it's set to 16, so I don't know how well you guys can hear me. But I'll set it back. But right now, Madness, kind of just take us through what you're expecting in future matches.
Future matches, the same domination, because they were the guys who came up first in qualifier one as well. They're the ones who were pretty much already seated at the top
Yeah.
spot heading in to this tournament, and they're showing us exactly why that is happening over here. But the other thing that we can talk about over here is also about tomorrow's matchup, the ones that are going to be off stream. Blitz and Ooh, that will be the future thing coming over here. Bullet, do you have any thoughts about that?
Just I was about to get onto that, but talking more about the side of Hasib Warriors and putting some light out to their matches coming in from their qualifier one. Most of the matches that they played before the semifinal bracket, they have won what 7-1, 7-2, 7-4. The only match which I'm able to see on the stats that we have got from the back end team was when they went up against the side of Team UU. On the map of Cafe Dos Whisky, they went up 7-5. On the map of Chalet, they went on 7-3. So again, majority of the maps, majority of the vanilla maps that we have seen in the game, they have some of the best strategies when it comes. They have some of the best strats for them to play around with some of these teams, against like who. The only team who was able to challenge them out on the matchup of grand finale, which was for the side of qualifier one, was the side of Blitzkrieg. They were able to push this out, especially on the map of Chalet and Bank. On the Chalet, it went up to 8-6. On the Night Human Labs, it was the side of Sea Warriors to win out the entire thing for 7-5. Yes, it was a best of 5. Yes, it was the side of Sea Warriors to win it out with a 3-0 scoreline. But on Chalet, them getting challenged with a scoreline of 8-6 tells a lot about the fact that we did saw ban of Chalet coming in from the side of, I guess, Hasib Warriors only. But nonetheless, folks, for the side of Hasib Warriors, again, comes on the same fact. They are one of the experienced teams in our region. They're one of the teams which, like, the entire roster hasn't changed even a bit, apart from a couple of the guys. The core 3 guys or the core 4 guys have remained unchanged for almost, from what I'm able to remember, from 2022 season. So it's great to see a team like Hasib Warriors sticking to its core, performing very dominantly, giving every other match their 100%. Even we know for a fact that the region that they came in from do have a lot of the technical difficulties, the internet issues that we all kind of like suffer from, even as like a general caster or a general player of the game. So it's great to see them performing in such a manner. Now, coming in towards the question that you threw me on, Blitzkrieg versus Zoo, which is of course going to be an off-stream game. I feel like it's going to be a close one. Looking at the history of Blitzkrieg with the scoreline that they have challenged on Hasib Warriors as well, and looking at the past performance of Team U as well in the upper bracket, in the qualifier one as well, I think it is going to be a close one. And unfortunately, we will be not able to witness this on stream. So yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. Sometimes you get games on stream, sometimes you don't, right? That's kind of been the history of South Asian Siege for as long as I can remember, really.
Pretty long time.
Going all the way back to the days of the LAN and going all the way back then, it was a magical time. 2020, 2021 were like quite full of CG sports. I mean, it's been pretty full since, of course, we've just only had a lull in the last year or so, give or take. But this year, it's certainly risen back up with a vengeance. Hope to see more of these kinds of tournaments, I'll tell you that much, because, hey, keeps me employed. But jokes aside, we like to see tournaments like this. We like to cast these games. We like to see these names come in. And that's why, in the qualifiers, when we were doing those interview segments, we always ask the players, what would you say to anyone looking to get into esports for Siege right now, seeing kind of this resurgence we're having? And I would mirror a lot of the answers we got back then as well, is that get a bunch of your friends together and just do it. Just, qualify. Try to do as much as you can, practice and work hard. And who knows, maybe one day you too will find yourself here in a big playoffs like this, playing for spots in the APAC League. But with that said, folks, we've got the stats screen over here in front of us to kind of digest. And of course, is it any surprise that Hasib and Baz are going 14-5 and 13-5 respectively? Hasib being 3-0 on entry, Fatar 9-4, but 4-0 entry kills as well. And even look at someone like Zedux, who is 4-5, played the support role for the most part, 80% cost because of just how impactful they were. That entire team was in the round. The only one at a sub 80% is Taha, who was pretty much kind of the pillar keeping the team alive and intact and kind of chugging along in most of those rounds. And then, of course, you look at Team RUE and you realize that they really got taken to the cleaners right there. 10-7 to Tony, who pretty much had the best performance out of the bunch, and 6-10 to Benham 91, who tried. Benham certainly had a few moments here and there where we saw that player kind of pop in to remind us that, hey, I'm still here, guys. I can still do a lot. Electric as well. Cryptic and Rome are unfortunately falling way short of their expected positions, even their cost percentages, the lowest in the entire lobby. So it is what it is for them, but I will say to Team RUE, do not let this loss dishearten you. You still have a chance. You still have the lower bracket run to make, and I, for one, will certainly be waiting to see your performance in that lower bracket. Won't we, Bullet?
Yeah, I mean, for the side of lower bracket, it's going to be very interesting, dude. It is a whole lot of teams. Now, pointing out to that one thing that you said, a newer face, I'm not saying exactly a newer face, but definitely a newer face in the competitive side of Siege is going to be the side of Andromeda Gaming. When we were chatting with their captain, they definitely told about the fact that, you know, they are here to give a challenge to some of these old faces. They were exactly his words that, hey, it's always that, you know, 2 teams or 3 teams who have kind of like dominated our region, and them being like kind of like some of these players being kind of like a little bit experienced in the competitive side of things for our region of CG Sports. They just want to give out a really good challenge to one-stop teams, like, you know, one-stop picking teams like Sea Warriors, team like you know, Dead Esports as well. Now, of course, we have the combined stats coming in from the overall 2 games. Good effort being laid out from the side of Electric and Cryptic. Gotta give them that. A good, you know, some of these clutches that we also from the side of Tony in the latter part of the map number 2. But on the side of Hasib Warriors, I don't even need to mention right now, folks. It's right on your screen. Hasib went what? 36 to 27. Just keep that toll apart for a second. There were a lot of that from both sides. A lot of that, you know, fun part was happening from both sides. But 36 on just what? Round number 11 till on border, and round number 13 till on the map number 1. In the overall of 26-27, you have 36 on average of 2.5. Pardon me, guys, because again, just like as Blackjack, I don't have a very good control on my mathematic numericals. I kind of fail in my exams as well. Give that onto that part. But having almost an average of 2.2 or 2.5 KD on 2 maps, boy, I would love to see this team. I'm not being biased, but I would love to see this team particularly making their way towards the South APAC League. As we all know, it's going to be the 2 teams going to make their way. Of course, for now, folks, right on our screen is going to be the updated brackets on our screen, folks, which is going to be momentarily taken away. But don't worry, folks, I have it open on my right-hand side screen. We have the updated brackets. It's going to be the side of Hasib Warriors making their way to the upper bracket final. They're going to be waiting in. Is either going to be the side of Blitzkrieg, who have given a really good competition in the qualifier 1. It's going to be kind of like a revenge matchup if Blitzkrieg is able to win up against Team UU, and them going to face off against the side of Hasib Warriors. But for the side of Team UU or Blitzkrieg, we have to just wait for a while. On the lower bracket storyline, it is either going to be a side of Team RUE or Dead Esports making their way towards the lower bracket semifinal. It's going to be a long story short that either is going to be the side of Won't Stop Taking, Team RUE or Dead Esports making their way to the side bracket final. Apart from these 3 teams, I don't see an fourth team actually making their way to the lower bracket finale, to be frankly speaking.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Some teams will lose, some teams will win. But I will say this much, folks. When we come back for some stream matches next weekend, you had better be ready, because it will be the finale weekend for the South Asia Elite Community Series for Rainbow Six Siege X here at Frag Nation in partnership with Ubisoft. But with that said, that has been it for us here tonight, with the Hasib Warriors winning 2-0 in tonight's game. I've been your host, Blackjack, joined by Bullet and Madness once again, and we will be back next Friday for the first of the bracket finals. Until then, stay tuned and good night.
You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.
it.